epic failure on behalf of the FBI. They missed, absolutely missed, that tip that they were given about the killer in Florida. They had the opportunity to prevent the massacre that happened, and they failed to do their job. So what does it mean for the FBI? And should Christopher Wray continue to lead it? Joining me right now, Chris Farrell, Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch. Chris, I guess, I look at this and I say, okay, our FBI has failed on many levels, whether it be the Clinton email situation, whether it be getting duped by the Russians with that phony dossier, and then it caused them to be issuing FISA warrants on the opponent's campaign, whether it be just constantly wanting to take down our current president, but yet they missed the most important thing that they're supposed to do, and that's protect our citizens. They didn't even bother to follow up on a tip. So knowing all of this, knowing how politicized this organization has become, and the reality that they're not even doing the job that they are there to do some people need to go? Do we need a reorganization? What are your thoughts, Chris?
People do need to go. You can start with the Director Wray. Frankly, I would go back 200 years to the U.S. Marshal Service. I would create a new division for investigations, and in about 6 to 8 months, I would shut the FBI down, and agents would be allowed to apply for or laterally transfer to a new investigative arm of the U.S. Marshal Service, and the FBI would cease to exist.
Wow.
That's my idea.
Okay, so you're not even just calling for Christopher Wray to move on. You are calling for the organization, for the system. I mean, this is controversial, what you're saying. You don't want to see the FBI in existence at all in its current form.
Well, there's a systemic institutional problem. We can walk it back to the Tsarnaev brothers, where they missed the leads, multiple leads on them. You can go back to Whitey Bulger, for that matter. You can go back to existing corruption in El Paso, Texas. There's all sorts of problems, and at this point, you've got a 200 and some odd year record of the U.S. Marshal Service performing honorable work. So let's create an investigative branch or division within the U.S. Marshal Service. Let the very fine agents at the rank and file level who are trying to do their jobs, let them apply for, be screened, and then admitted to this new investigative division. And then let's take what's left over of obviously a deeply flawed organization, certainly at the headquarters, and shake it out. And let's start over. We don't want to lose good people, and we don't have to. We can simply put them in a new investigative arm of the U.S. Marshal Service, an organization that has served honorably for more than 200 years.
You want to start over, for real. Look, I think the reality is, I don't know if we'll get to that, Chris, but there should be some accountability. And well, I don't know if Christopher Wray is the right guy right now. In fact, I'd say he isn't, given that he doesn't even admit that there is bias to begin with at the FBI.
I agree with you, but here's the problem. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Yeah. There's got to be a radical, very penetrating, severe examination, and you have to turn over some furniture here. We have to really reset the thinking. It's an institutional, cultural question. It's the entity itself has become poisoned.
Yeah. All right. Chris Farrell, thank you very much. It's good to see you tonight. Coming up next, growing calls, as you've been hearing throughout the night, for